Hey everybody, Billy Bob here, and it's Toasty Thursday. Oh, Toasty Thursday. Yeah, I thought that. So hey, anyway, I told you a little bit, I think, last week. I bought, Publix has BOGOs, BOGOs all the time, BOGOs on beer. Sometimes I'm looking for some interesting stuff, something to review that I hadn't reviewed before. Doesn't necessarily mean I'll continue to drink it, but I at least spend a little coin. That way I can tell you about it, let you make your own decisions. And today, it's 1300 Mile Brewing Company in Lakeland, Florida, and this is their India Pale Ale. So kind of a wackadoodle can. I mean, wackadoodle in a good way. Not crazy, but kind of funny. What is this? It's like a frog with a guitar. A guitar. Frog. So anyway, we're going to pop this baby. I'm not going to tell you that I never had one before because I bought it last week, so I wasn't going to let it sit in the refrigerator for over a week and not at least have one and try it. And so it's a New England hazy pale ale. So West Coast IPAs are typically clear. East Coast are a little hazier. This one's 7% ABV. It's got a 60 on the international bitter units, although some people say it's a little sweet. I saw there was a guy from Ohio that reviewed it, and he thought it was a little sweet. Now, and then here's one that me personally, am not big on, and that's the caramel kind of flavor in a beer. So this one has 2-row barley, caramel malts, wheat, Simcoe, and Citra hops. So is what it is. Let's give it well, like I said, I've already tried it. It's a little sweet. It really doesn't have as much caramel taste as you would think. Not nearly as much as the Kona Big Wave that I reviewed last week. It's a drinkable beer. There's no doubt. And it will really appeal to some people. Like I said, it's a drinkable beer. Very drinkable beer. Is it my go-to right off the bat? Not necessarily, but it may be yours, right? So I try not to, when I do these reviews, they're all based on my palate, and so I'm not dissing any beer. That's not my point. Some reviewers are, it's either positive or they really degrade the company, the beer, the whatever, and that ain't me, babe. So, but I will say one thing is, when I look at the calories, I review the beer, I look at the calories, I weigh the whether it's sponge worthy or not, and then at that point I keep it in the fridge full time, or it's a part timer based on whatever the feeling of the week is. So hey, oh man, I know this probably sounds sacrilegious. Today the new Pope, Robert Francis Prevost, born in Chicago, was in Chicago in his early years. They call him American, but his nationality is both American and Peruvian. So, there's a lot of people out there celebrating it's the first ever American Pope. I guess it's the first ever American-born Pope, but he spent a lot of time outside the United States. I got to get into his politics and all that. So he took on the name, you can read that for yourself, by the way, but he took on the name Pope Leo the 14th. Now, go check out Leo the 13th. You can find out a little more about him. Maybe I'll talk about it on another time when it's not Thirsty Thursday and all this is making me thirsty. But here's the thing. I am so glad that it's over, right? The conclave, that it's over. all this hype and this drama of the smoke, black smoke, no pope, white smoke, new pope. Um, you know, it started yesterday. They had one vote. They had two votes today. I think it was, and maybe it was the third vote today that actually, but in a small box in the corner of everything you're watching, and the small box is nothing but a camera trained on the smokestack. Smoke, no smoke, smoke, no smoke. Whoa, my God. Then all of a sudden, what was it, about 6, maybe a little before 6 o'clock, Rome time, the smoke, the white smoke started blowing, and blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing and blowing. And so not only was it windy, but there was a lot of frickin' white smoke. What do they smoke? What do they do to generate all that smoke? One of the things that most people are concerned about that follow the Pope, they're concerned about the environment. Where did that white smoke come from? Was it clean white smoke? Was it burned with clean fuel? Was it charcoal? Was it coal? Was it wood? What was it? Inquiring minds want to know. And then when they make the announcement, then they play all the bells. Man, they're ringing the bells. And the media is covering it. I'm like, oh my God, I could not. 45 minutes to an hour. I think it was closer to an hour and a half before they actually announce the name. The pomp and circumstance. They come out on the balcony and they announce the new pope. And then about 15 minutes later, the new pope actually shows up to work and says something most people couldn't understand. It was in Latin. I think there was some in Italian. I don't know if there were any other language. What I know, there was zero in Inglés, right? Nada, no English. So everything he said had to be translated. I mean, guy's from Chicago, damn it. Couldn't he at least say, good to be with you, look forward to working with y'all in English? Couldn't he have done that? I mean, I don't know. But it's Thirsty Thursday, so if I'm holding you up, you better get to one. Otherwise, you're missing an opportunity. Cheers. America. Land of the free, because of the brave. Stay focused, America. Billy Bob, peace out.